I put it to you, fine community. Which of these champions were you choosing at, well, it's not the end of the week, Thursday. For some people, Wednesday night for others. I'm not quite sure on when you'll get to see it. But will you be choosing any for whatever reason? A lot of people, like, I put this little kind of like poll out several hours ago. This has been recorded on Monday, but within 7 hours, 5,000 over 5,000 people have got involved with this. Thanks so much. Also, we're going to be reading some of your comments and kind of figure out who you're choosing for whatever reason. And you might have actually swayed my choice. I'm going to talk about that and show some footage of gameplay of the champions in action. I possess already a 7-star Colossus and a 7-star Korg. Not that I'm boasting. I cannot actually remember how I picked them up, but I've got them. Of course, everyone has their reason to get whatever champion for whatever reason. One of them definitely, when it comes to Colossus, I do feel really requires an awakening. We'll talk about that in a minute. But of course, the voting is kind of swayed in the favour of Thing, which is quite exciting. When I got back to playing him, I did find that there was some fun elements to push the champion to an SP3, maybe some synergy build that could be quite nice about having him as an option, but also a Battlegrounds defense option as a 7-star, which does make him quite an interesting choice. But also the other reason that might stack in his favour is not many people have him as a 7-star. I think what a lot of reasons for people choosing Korg are actually really good from a defensive standpoint. However, getting the 200 signature 6-star version ascended is, in actuality, maybe a better option for people, which is probably the reason he's so lower down the pecking order. If I was to get him, I would only use him in a defensive standpoint, and I guess that's with nowadays people looking for this double value. The value of having a champion you can use in attack and also defense. I really hope in the future that Kabam look to buff Korg in some sort of way, more so from his attacking side of things than his defense. The defense is really cool, and though a lot of people do kind of tap into that mistaken striking Korg with a medium, and then obviously doing physical damage is inflicted to the opponent, and that can be annoying. Also the purifying of debuffs, which again play into gaining rock shields, which again are a key element to his defensive prowess, and that's why you see him in defense quite a bit. That's why you see him being a bit tricky. Yes, there are counters, but that's why maybe people are looking towards Thing as a defensive option, but also attacking, but also Colossus as well. So if you're rooted around a very defensive option in Korg as being your pick, then go for it. If you're looking for something that's more of an attacking side of things, Colossus is that. He is solely an attack-based champion. Could he be given some kind of like defensive elements? Well, you could look to him being a defensive option like a very specific Battlegrounds meta of some description. We had that once a long time ago, but those days are gone. Colossus, on the other hand, being unawakened, if you get him for the first time, might not shine that, again, high damage rate that you're hoping for. When you put Liquid Courage and Double Edge Masteries on, you're able to get a really nice amount of damage. Of course, SP2 damage is going to give you that big burst off, unless you're looking for something like a heavy attack rotation for the champion. Having bleed immunity helps, but being very synergy dependent and pairing up with, say, a Mega Red, I think is the really decent one, where you've got armor. Every time you get an armor up, you get an attack rating boost. That is a nice pair up with it. So, if you're looking for an attack orientated option, Colossus is going to be a really good fun one for you. I do think he really requires the awakening a lot more to kind of ramp up that damage, which you've probably seen in the footage I've been throwing on. That versus 6-star 200 signature awakened version versus a standard 7-star rank 1 Colossus. He will do damage. You will need to do a critical stat focus on in order to try and get up your crits, and the crits are at random sometimes, and you don't 60% of the time it works every time with damage output, so hey ho. This now ends us on Thing, and this is where I think that you've swayed me, but also it's in the abilities that this champion can be really good. I don't think he needs to rely on being awakened to be good. The 6-star version is great from that front end of attack, and also using the 6-star version for defense and Battlegrounds, which I've been using him a lot more for in regular seasons. I've gone away from that. And maybe it's the case I need to go back to it. His Awaken ability, Thing activates protection for the next 5 seconds, reducing all damage by X amount % for each rock stack. Okay, that's fine. That's a defensive element that would be nice to have. But it's not the, key thing with it. Obviously, you've got when charging a heavy attack, Thing activates the protection for the next 5 seconds. So you have to really rely on, from an attacking side of things, okay, could be nice to have, it's not necessarily needed. From a defense standpoint, yes, okay, if you're in a block for a good chunk of time and he does that, then of course he'll have that extra protection. He will be a little bit more frustrating, especially if he's got the rock stacks there. Now, nowadays, I do use my Beta Ray Bill as a contact counter even for this. And there's lots of effective counters to Thing. But I want to find out, because I do like the champion on an SP3 rotation, which you've probably seen on the footage, where you're able to get from the rock stacks passive fury, but also if you've got 20 furies, you're able to remove them and do plus 100% stronger attacks for 8 seconds, which you can ramp around and rotate around an SP3. Possibly. It's up to you how you look to rotate. Anyway, let's find out what you think and what options you're picking and why, because I want to find out. So there's some fascinating things that I love about this. Of course, Jason's got a big thing here saying that I have Korg, but not even a debate, but all of them will be new champions for me. So realistically speaking, Thing is probably the best out of these unawakened. If it was the first time awakening, Korg would get the pick first, then Thing. He has a bit more value in Battlegrounds. Colossus to me is a big fall from grace since the buff, and that's a real shame. I think he's very mixed on that. Of course, there's more there from Jason, but we want to read as much possible. Thanks very much, everybody that commented on here. Colossus for the dupe. Colossus is easy, amazing, especially as a horseman. That's a very good point. I did forget about that. Already have Korg duped. This is kind of Thing kind of outdated, so he choose Colossus. Interesting. I have none of them, and I think unduped Thing is better defender for Battlegrounds than Korg. He needs hits dupe. Now that's the thing. I'm torn on where I'm going. I partly want Thing, but also I like the fact of the duping of Korg, which puts me in a very kind of like strong position, but also very defensive orientated with that champion to then rank up with it. Recently pulled Colossus from completing Act 9 and want to dupe him. Nice. Thing fears initial awakening. Might put him on defense later down the line, but even Colossus is dope. Kind of confused as of now. That's a very good point. People will be. Thing because he's just a thing. Gotcha. Definitely Colossus. I got Korg duped. They would just do a defender work for me, but Korg got him covered. Yeah, we go. That's a good point. Use my Thing awakened. A lot of people are going for the awakened then. Maybe that's it. Colossus because I'm halfway through Act 6, and I think he would serve me better than Korg or Thing. Nice. Picking Colossus. He's the only one I don't have. I have duped Korg and unduped Colossus, so it's a no-brainer to pick Thing. I pick Korg for the awakening. I was even kind of going like I was flip-flopping between stuff. A stronger Battlegrounds defense is something that I'm lacking at the moment. A rank 2 Korg awakened is actually tempting me a lot, but we'll see. Thing is also a great incursion champion. That's plus for him. I've not used him in incursions. There's a lot of champions to test out in incursions. Need that initial awakening. Colossus simply because I have a mutant awakening gem to use in him. Of course, people are talking about 7-star and 6-star versions as well. And of course, if I don't have any of them and just have 3 to 4 7-star champions, whom should I pick? If you want defense, go Korg and Thing. If you want attack, go Colossus. I'll put a note to that later on. Anyway, let's kind of rotate down to the bottom because there's 150 comments. There's tons. Thank you so much, everybody. I can't feature everybody, but I just wanted to make a quick kind of bring in the community to kind of like vibe in what we're talking about here. I'll be picking Colossus as I have the other 2 rank 5 ascended. Nice. I already have the other 2, so I think I'll get to expand my roster. Nice. And that's good, isn't it, to expand it? Fun I have all three, but I don't have any of them to SIG 200. Interesting. Already got duped rank 3 Korg, so 20 extra SIGs will be nice. Interesting. People are going for that. I have 86 Korg, even though I don't have Colossus. I know I won't use him. Thing has uses in incursions for me and maybe future Battlegrounds. So many interesting points from the community here, and it's always interesting reading when we do like a nice topic poll-based, interaction. So that's been it for the video. I think I'm going to be going with Korg based on the defensive elements, but I'm slightly torn with that thing side of things. And Colossus, I personally think needs to be high signatured. And also I need to run a different mastery set for, using him. But hey, we'll see what happens when you get to choose on late Wednesday or Thursday. Thanks for watching the video. Who are you picking? Put it in the comments. Thanks for everybody getting involved. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.